Let's get out and vote. Let's make our voices heard. We've been given the right to choose between a douche and a turd. It's democracy in action, so put your freedom to the test. A big fat turd or a stupid douche, which do you like best? Apparently, America likes the freaking douche. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Powerful Nerdcast. We have a very political heavy episode, which is to say we're just going to lightly comment on this big election which just took place over the course of the last 24 hours. Really, we're still here to talk about cool, nerdy stuff like Vegito versus Zamasu, the X-Men franchise getting a reboot, and Deadpool, which seems to be in a state of limbo. But first, Christian, we have got to talk about this election. I feel that as Americans, we have to at least address it.
Oh, man. I don't even know where to go with this. Okay, so going into yesterday was the election day. I was thinking, I don't want Hillary to win, but I'm pretty sure she's going to win because Trump is just so ridiculous. He's been too real for the American people. You know, he just said too much ridiculous stuff. But, you know, that's what Trump does. He trumps the playbook.
He does, and he does it with a lot of shock value. Even after all of the stuff that came out about him about a month ago, he still manages to just go out on the podium every week with the same old speech. A chicken in every pot and a pussy in every hand. I mean, I don't know how he does it. It's amazing that there's a president that could get away with this.
He's like a real-life troll.
Yeah.
Trolls aren't trolling because they just like to say mean stuff. They're trolling because they want to get a reaction. Mm-hmm. And Trump wants the news media to pay attention to him.
That's true.
So he goes for the hardest core stuff to say because he knows they'll have to talk about him later that day. You know, and he just keeps the media attention going and going and going. But, you know, I don't even really want to get into the politics of Trump or what he stands for. But, I mean, I think Trump was elected president because people just wanted an outsider so bad that they were just willing to go with him. Like they just saw Hillary Clinton as the establishment, and they're like, no more of that.
They were tired of, like you said, the established rhetoric of politics that we've just been engrossed in for years and years.
I truly believe it's not that half of America was for Trump. They were just for some change that they could believe in, Corey. I don't know. I know I made a joke there, but I truly mean people are just over nothing happening in government, and they're like, fuck it, we're trying this guy, you know? And so here we are. Everyone that's not in America, let's see what happens.
That's all we can do. We have to remember, too, he's president-elect. He's not in office yet. We still got a couple more months with Obama, so let's see what he can do before he leaves.
Man, think of all the shit Trump can talk now. Just raw, straight shit, because nothing can stop him now.
No, nothing really.
He could go, like, I don't know, man. He could do anything he wants. I remember one of my, I have to be honest, one of my favorite Trump quotes is when he says, I could walk in the middle of New York and shoot someone and my poll numbers wouldn't go down.
I love that. I love that we have a president, though, that has a quote like that. Like, there's going to be a book of all those Trumpisms, of just all the ridiculous things that he has said. We're going to look back on it years from now. We're going to laugh and be like, really? We allowed this to happen? Whatever. But, you know, I'm kind of in the same boat as you where, you know, I thought Hillary was going to win, and I kind of wanted her to win, but it's the same situation where it's like she's sort of not so much the lesser of two evils, just another type of evil. To say the least. Like, they're so different in the degrees of what they do, and you know, I'm shocked by the entire event, really. And I mean, obviously a lot of people on social media are today too. I mean, everybody is just blowing the fuck up about this election. A lot of people saying that this is the end of America. This is the beginning of some sort of xenophobic, racist, sexist regime which will never end. And honestly, I just don't think it's going to come to that. And I don't think people need to be scared to the point where they feel like they have to like move to another country. I think that's a little extreme.
I love this. Here it is, Corey.
See that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
When was this like? When did he say this? I mean, it doesn't matter when he said it.
I don't know. It's just,
But that video from CNN was from June, so like that wasn't that long ago.
I could go in Fifth Avenue and shoot someone and I wouldn't lose any votes.
This guy just said he could go commit murder in broad daylight.
Yeah.
He talks about grabbing pussies. He wants to put up a freaking wall and exude all Muslims from coming into the country, and he still won. In many ways, you've got to give the guy some credit.
The guy doesn't stop. I hate giving him props, but what I'm saying here is that guy, whether or not he got his daddy's money to get going, that is a guy that went up against the world and won.
Yeah.
Like, the media hated him. Half of the Republicans hated him. All the Democrats hated him.
God knows Hillary has got to be having the worst day of her fucking life. Not only has her political career been very tumultuous, but the fact that, one, her president was husband, her husband president, committed freaking infidelity. This was her big opportunity to not only win, but also to be the very first female president, and it was taken away
Madam President.
by freaking a guy who had a reality TV show and a cameo in Home Alone 2.
Oh, well, he also provided the hotel in Home Alone 2 that they filmed that movie in, Corey. You need to bow down to Sir Trump, Your Majesty, now.
The Plaza Hotel. Jesus. I actually didn't even know that fact.
Oh, I did.
And when I was a kid and I was watching that movie, I didn't know who fucking Donald Trump was. I just thought it was just some random businessman who was talking to him.
Thought he was some random pussy grabber.
And then... This is a president that a month ago said... They had him on tape saying, I grabbed her pussy. This guy won! That's ridiculous. I cannot... I'm actually kind of excited to see some of the crazy shit that he is going to say.
Dude, Corey, I think we all know, that this election was just like... I remember sitting around yesterday. I had the free time to go vote. Mm-hmm. And I hate admitting in the sense that I know a lot of people take the right to vote very seriously. And so do I.
And they should.
This election bothered me to the core, though, that I was like... I can't vote for Hillary. I can't vote for Trump. I don't know what to do. And I don't want to. I liked Gary Johnson, but he also kind of fucked up a lot in the past few months, like not knowing where I think it was Aleppo was. I was going to say Ippolito's, but that's because we went there for lunch.
Delicious, by the way.
But it's just he fucked up. He didn't get into the presidential debates, and if you're not in the presidential debates at 15% support, I think that's the popular vote. You don't get in, and he didn't get in. He had no real chance. So I wasn't going to throw away my vote on Gary Johnson. So. I was really struggling, with the burden of, do I vote for one of these people that I hate both of them? And I just ended up not voting because, God, it sounds like I'm protesting or something, but it wasn't that.
You really shouldn't have to. I mean, as an American, you have the freedom to not vote. And I honestly think it's a good decision. If you're just 100% not sure of what you're doing, you shouldn't be forced into a position where you have to vote. I honestly think that's a bad thing to do.
Yeah, but at the same time, I didn't feel uneducated. I didn't feel ill-informed or pressured. And I mean, Corey, we live in the fucking South. We live in Georgia. This
was a pretty divided state, though.
It was divided, but at the same time, you could go easily and find a whole bunch of people that love Trump for no good reason.
I'll say this, every day when I'm driving home from work, I see more Trump signs posted all over the place than I see any Clinton signs.
I mean, right before the election, I think 2 weeks before, someone went through our neighborhood and slapped Trump-Pence bumper stickers on all the stop signs.
I mean, you remember yesterday when we were driving through town and we were going over the bridge, you could see those people were on the bridge with their American flags and their Trump signs. They were getting out there and trying to bring awareness to this. But I didn't see a single person doing that for Clinton. Now, obviously, like you said, we're in Georgia. Things are different here. It probably was different in other states as well.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm is definitely going to remember this shit.
So, good luck, America. I don't know where to go from this. I am not an educated political commentator. So I'm uncomfortable discussing this publicly. You should listen to me. My opinion matters more than yours. I didn't vote. So there's that too. So if that offends you, and that detracts from my opinion on this topic, I understand that point of view.
Yeah, a lot of people have that feeling if you don't vote that you have no right to complain.
Yeah.
Or even have a say in the matter. I don't believe in that. Like I said, I think you shouldn't be forced to just do it because it's your civic duty or something like that. I think if you vote, you really need to have a clear mindset of why you're voting.
I want to support these people. But I also want to like them before I support them. And at the end of the day, I didn't like any of them.
And even though it seems like the end of the world right now, for a lot of people, we have to wait and see. This could be a blessing in disguise for all we know. Things could actually be good. We have to wait and see what's going to happen. It's not like he's the worst president that we've ever had. We have had some pretty crappy presidents in the past. Do some freaking research and see what some of those old school presidents have done and said. It will freaking freak you out.
I am interested to see, though, because let's be honest, Donald Trump is not presidential, though. That's something that has always bothered me about him.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see how he handles being a president in the sense of being a respectable, guy in the public eye.
Because he is the representative of America,
Yeah.
in a way. He has to represent us in some way. He has to, go to different countries and meet different, leaders and stuff. Like, he's going to have to carry himself, I think, a little different from this point on.
Can't be grabbing him by the puss.
Nope.
Okay, let's move on. Fuck that topic.
Yeah, but there it is. We had to address it because it's such a big thing right now, and as Americans, we just had to talk about it. But let's move into the meat of this podcast, which is the real reason why you're here and why you should really be excited. Because fuck this presidential election, Vegito is back in Dragon Ball Super. Holy shit, the hype for the next episode is just insane. When I saw the preview for the upcoming episode, I got so excited. Probably the most that I've been for all of Dragon Ball Super. I had a feeling that there was going to be some fusion involved, and while I was hoping it was going to be Gogeta, I'm glad that we're going to see the return of Vegito, and it's going to be Super Saiyan Blue, and he's going up against Zamasu, who's also going through some really crazy transformations. What are your thoughts on the preview for the next episode?
Well, I am excited to see, is it Vegito?
It is Vegito.
I'm excited to see Vegito back. I am excited to see how they fight now that, because Zamasu has always been like winning by cheap tricks or like spinning it. It's never been an equal one-on-one fight. Either he's immortal or he's pulling out some cheap ass trick where he has all the blades come out and attack you or whatever it is, or all the clones. So I'm excited to see where this fight goes now that it's going to be on equal ground. But at the same time, I'm a little confused how they're going to wrap this arc up. Is Vegito just going to win? Or are they just going to use the evil containment pot or whatever it is,
There is still the chance that they're going to use the Mafuba technique, and I still have a feeling that it's going to be involved in some way. The thing is, though, they're going to have to try and create a seal or something because, they left that on Earth. So I'm kind of interested to see if they do use the Mafuba technique, how they're going to seal the pot again.
Yeah, they'll probably just make another one. Just a Naruto scroll. They're going to whip that out, an exploding scroll.
In a post-apocalyptic setting, though, where are you going to be able to, come across something like that? That's the only thing.
Walmart. I don't know.
Walmart, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm excited for next week. I actually really am excited to see that animated because it looks really good. Like the preview showed, the animation quality.
Yeah, I'm looking at the preview right now, and just the animation just looks so fast and furious. I really, really love it. I'm really hoping we'll get to see some new techniques aside from just
what's the episode number that's coming up?
The episode is going to be episode 66, so you can probably just bring that up on YouTube. Should be pretty easy to find. It's one of those previews too that in some ways I wish they could have been more secretive about it. Instead of just showing Vegito in the brand new form of Zamasu, maybe just show some shots of Goku and Vegeta just powering up and maybe some build up to it. Oh god, you got to turn that down. But yeah, they don't waste any time. Vegito right there, super powered up. But I'm really curious, what the deal is with freaking Zamasu. Why half of his body is all purple and nasty.
I think it's obvious that his imperfect or his what do you call that? He's immortal, but it's not perfect now that he fused with a non-immortal version.
That's
of himself.
true. Maybe it's weakened him in a sense. That's shot right there at the end too. That might actually be him going through the transformation, and I can't tell if that's Vegito that's being blown back, or if that might actually just be regular Vegeta. It's kind of hard.
It looks
to
like
tell.
That's Vegito. You can tell right there.
Here, keep watching that clip right
Vegito.
there. And
that's Vegito.
Yeah, that is Vegito. So clearly he's just really super pissed off.
Yeah. And he gets, when they scream louder, they get stronger.
And upon further inspection too, it looks like the earrings that they're using to do the fuse might actually belong to Gawas, who is the master of Zamasu.
Yeah, which is
I think that's poetic justice.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's I need you to bring down my student, use this to power yourself up. And that attack right there, that looks like a Kamehameha, but it looks slightly different.
It has a yellow aura to it.
In general, the entire blast is yellow, but it has that other bit of electrical energy, which is sort of flowing around it like a tornado blast.
I was gonna say a Final Flash and a Kamehameha mixed together.
That would be cool. The final Kamehameha.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they can give it another cool name, because that is something that I think they need to do. Because Zamasu displayed so many cool techniques in the most recent episode. some of which, like, stuff we've never even really seen in the Dragon Ball universe before, which I think has definitely been one of the most refreshing things. Summoning all the blades of judgment and then using that weird, like, bird technique, which is where he summoned, like, that big ghostly key bird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's never been anything like that in Dragon Ball at all. It was slightly reminiscent of the Susanoo from Naruto. Like, that was kind of the feeling that I was getting from it.
As soon as I saw his final version, his Zamasu's final fusion form,
Mm-hmm.
I immediately thought of, like, Madara in his, like, Ten Tails form and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It has that kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
I think also because they have those orbs that float behind them.
Yeah, he has, like, that, like, big light halo that hangs out behind his back.
Yeah, it kind of has that sort of feel to it. You know?
And I like that, though. It does give him some more distinctiveness because at the end of the day, the fused form of Zamasu is essentially just Zamasu with a different colored outfit and Goku's hair.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty
really,
much.
that's it. By giving them that halo, I thought that was cool. I kind of wish he would bring the scythe back, but I just kind of liked the whole aesthetic of him actually using a scythe. It feels appropriate for something like that, like for a god to use. But all of his techniques were just so incredibly devastating, and nothing really seemed to harm him at all. Hell, Trunks didn't even last at all, man. When he just jumped in and started to attack him, he got his sword completely snapped in half. So
He breaks that sword once a week, it feels like.
Probably.
It's all good.
But the most recent episode was pretty intense, and I really enjoyed it. But I mean, this upcoming one could really shake things up for the rest of Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, no, I think that it's this arc is finally hitting its high point.
Mm-hmm.
So I am excited to see how this fight wraps up. I think we got like 3 more big battle episodes maybe, and then we're gonna have some wrap up for the arc.
I mean, it's hard to say too because a lot of the times when there's like a really important episode, of course they like to give it the best animation that they can. But like the preview for the next episode looks really good. Like, by Dragon Ball Super standards, it looks like it's got some fantastic animation attached to it. So I really hope they don't kind of, like, blow their load entirely on that episode, and then we get another one that's kind of subpar when compared to it. Maybe we'll get a couple that look that good. It's not out of the question. We've seen it happen in other series before. Most recently in Naruto, like the big fights between Naruto and Sasuke, both of those episodes look good. The following episode, which was the final part of their battle and their confrontation with each other, was also handled really well. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're just going to pump a lot of budget into this big battle right here. I mean, I'm just really excited to see how this is going to get wrapped up, and I'm also curious to see how they're going to defuse from one another, because the only other time that they've done this in the past is when they were fighting against Super Buu, or whatever the hell that form of Buu was called. He went through so many different forms.
Super evil Mega Buu.
That was when he absorbed practically everyone, and Gohan in particular. He absorbed Vegito into his body, and that forcibly made Goku and Vegeta defuse from each other. But now they're using the Potara earrings, which means they're permanently going to be stuck. But I think that's the reason why they decided to include the scene of Kibito and the Kaioshin using the Dragon Balls to defuse from each other. So they could show, this is actually possible with the power of the Dragon Balls. No biggie.
Yeah, of course.
And I believe they actually use the Namek Dragon Balls to make that happen. So they can use any Dragon Ball to do this.
It's not that big of a wish.
Yeah,
exactly. It's not like creating planets and stuff. I think it's a pretty small wish. And,
the reason it was so dire during the Buu saga is because Buu had murdered everyone, and this was kind of like their final resort. Like, we have to do this, even if we're fused together. We have to save the universe. Here, it's different. They're in an entirely different timeline. They can return and use the Dragon Balls. Everything's going to be just fine. That's almost certainly what's going to happen.
I hope before they unfuse, they fight Beerus, though, just to smack him around a little bit.
That would be crazy.
That
would be that'd be a really cool way to sort of end this arc. Like, they managed to defeat Zamasu, whether it be just through their own strength or the Mafuba. Then after that, they return to their time. Beerus is like, who the hell is this guy? And they decide, you know what, let's have a sparring match with Beerus, see how far that we've come. There's also still the possibility that Vegito could use Kaioken technique.
That would win right away.
Here's the thing. I really do think that Beerus is way stronger than they've been letting on. I mean, have we really seen him get serious?
Negative.
Ever? I mean, remember when he killed Zamasu, how easily he did it just by touching him and saying destroy, and his body just immediately disintegrated? That was a moment where Beerus was, legitimately angry at someone and wanted to kill them. Every other time he went up against, the Earthlings or Goku or Vegeta, it was basically out of annoyance.
Or, out of entertainment.
Yeah, he didn't harbor, an extreme hatred. He was just really annoyed by them. But with Zamasu, you could just tell from his overall experience, I want to fucking kill you. You are going to die. End of story. So I really think there's a lot more to Beerus and his power. I think he hasn't even come close to displaying it, but this would be a good opportunity to sort of like show how far Goku and Vegeta have come up on the ladder. It's definitely going to freak out Beerus a little bit, but do you think that he actually could pull off the Kaioken technique, even if Vegeta is there? Because he's never used that technique before.
I don't know. And that's the other thing. I always wonder, these people train together all the time, but yet they don't teach each other their different techniques. Like, how come Vegeta's never learned instant transmission? He trains with Goku all the time. He could easily teach him that.
That's true.
You know? How come he doesn't teach him Kaioken?
You don't ever see Beerus or Whis using instant transmission.
And it's even more helpful for them to get around, and because it takes like Whis 30 minutes to get to Earth. And
exactly.
So it's kind of like, why isn't that like a thing everyone's wanting to learn? They don't pass around secret techniques. I guess not.
No, and I mean, sometimes techniques are really easy to learn, and sometimes they're not. I mean, Trunks learned how to use the Mafuba in like less than 5 minutes, and while watching a really crappy cell phone video of Piccolo using it, which I do think that was a little bit of a cop-out when they did that. Like, I don't think Trunks should have been able to learn the technique that easily. Especially because, you know, it took Goku a little bit of time, and even in the arc when the Mafuba was introduced, it was a really dangerous technique. It was like supposed to like shorten your lifespan, even potentially kill you. And Tien worked his ass off to learn that technique. And, you know, Tien's definitely not the strongest character in the series now, but I think he's one of the strongest Earthlings, without a doubt.
I think that just them being so powerful, it doesn't bother them to do it.
Maybe that's just what it is. Maybe, I mean, they have achieved godlike bodies at this point, and with Trunks, it's kind of hard to tell because they're still trying to keep his powers sort of ambiguous. Like, that's the thing. There's still a possibility that Trunks could end up being like the star of this arc. Like, maybe Vegito's gonna fail. There is the possibility that he could lose, and then Trunks finally has to step in and finally just unleash all of that apocalyptic power.
Yeah.
Which I think would be really cool, to be perfectly honest.
I just feel like you're not going to physically beat Zamasu. I feel like you have to seal him because of his immortal body. You're just not going to get to physically blow him away.
It's going to be tough. I mean, they were able to defeat Majin Buu, so we'll see. But then again, defeating Majin Buu took like the collective energy of the entire universe.
It was pretty straightforward. Everyone.
It's going to be strange. It is interesting to finally have a villain who is stronger. You know, I think we can both agree Zamasu is definitely more powerful than Majin Buu at this point.
Oh yeah.
But I still don't think he's like really shown how destructive he truly can be either. Like we saw Boo do some crazy shit. A lot of that being the fact that we were also spending a lot of time with Boo. We spent tons of time with that character.
Oh yeah.
And then he destroyed the Earth, and then he went around and like actually started killing people in the afterlife, which makes no sense, by the way. Like, I don't understand how that works. I think it's maybe just because some people get to keep their physical bodies and other people don't.
Yeah, so it's like he just went where they were hanging out.
Yeah, and killed them physically, but maybe they still exist in, like, an ethereal sense, like all those, like... Because when they go to, like, when people die, you know, you have the certain people who are just clouds of the spirits, but then every once in a while, King Yem is like, you're cool, you did some really crazy shit in your life, and you were a hero, so I'm going to let you keep your body. I don't really see the significance behind that, but there's still a lot of mysterious things about the other world of Dragon Ball, which they could definitely get into, and they seem to be still doing a lot of that with Dragon Ball Super right now, but, I mean, the hype is just so real for this episode. Like, I remember when that preview came out last Saturday, just everybody was flipping the hell out, and it took everything in my power to not include anything about Vegito in the title or the thumbnail or anything, and I even put like a spoiler warning in my review because I didn't want people to get angry about it.
You should have just made Vegeta the thumbnail.
Should have. I can almost 100% guarantee we're going to be seeing those as some. Oh my God, they just released the new Death Battle.
Oh really? Is this
That's
new?
it right there.
Yeah, this is it.
Hulk versus Doomsday. Holy shit!
I don't even want to see it.
I don't even want to look at it. Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm going to watch it right now.
Oh my God, no.
Just the middle of the podcast.
Middle of the pod. We are live watching the brand new episode of Death Battle right now from the good folks at Screw Attack. It's the Incredible Hulk versus Doomsday, which I'm not sure I can call this battle. It's kind of hard to say.
I say Doomsday.
You say Doomsday?
Yeah.
Damn. I'm gonna say Hulk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong, so we'll see.
It's possible.
Doomsday is like Superman powerful, though.
He is Superman powerful. That's really what sort of gives him the edge. And I mean, they both done such crazy shit. I mean, right now they're just Doomsday's just throwing a fucking bus at the Hulk. You think that wouldn't even push the Hulk back?
Boom.
Oh man.
Shit. Okay, so they're pretty much just punching each other a lot because that's what these characters do. Mm-hmm. They're not deep
That's
characters.
the thing, too. Like, Doomsday and Hulk, like, their powers consist of basically just punching. I mean, they can utilize their strength in a number of different ways, obviously. Like, Hulk can, like, create, like, a huge sound wave by clapping, or he can pound the ground and just destroy everything. But mostly they're just doing what they do best, which is throwing cars around.
And then they also... Doomsday does have laser eyes, though.
Yeah, I don't... Does he have laser eyes? Or
No.
was that just in the movie?
Maybe it was just in the movie. What's the other guy that kind of looks like Doomsday, but it's not Doomsday?
I'm not sure. Is it a DC character?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he like actually like a villain with competency?
Yes.
Like, I think you're thinking of Darkseid.
Darkseid. I think
Darkseid's eyes are like you almost can't escape his attacks unless you're like a main character.
Yeah.
Unless you're basically Superman or I think like the Flash or something, you're not going to be able to escape. Like the whole point of his eyes are like when he fires them, you're always going to get hit by it.
Oh, because they bounce around?
Yeah, and they follow you. They're like a heat-seeking missile.
Oh, yeah. They'll bounce off things and they'll just track you down.
But it's fun, looking at this battle right now, it's mostly taking place in a city. This is probably going to end up going somewhere crazy eventually. But that's the thing. The Hulk he's so ragingly powerful. But he definitely has more damage on him than Doomsday right now.
Yeah.
You actually see blood on his face. I forgot that this episode was actually coming out today. It's kind of insane.
Also, Hulk has so many power-ups throughout the years. Like, he can randomly, all of a sudden, he gets these, like, rage modes where he just, like, can just, like, break. Like, I remember, I think it was World War Hulk. Mm-hmm. Hulk was so powerful, he was about to break the whole world in half. I'm like, how did he get that strong?
Just saying that out. He was about to break the world in half.
Like, see this?
Ah!
Yeah.
Damn, the Hulk might actually lose. Holy shit. Oh, yeah. Because Doomsday, he can regenerate.
Oh, yeah. I heard he gets stronger every time because he...
Oh, my God. He is just impaling the Hulk multiple times. Guys, look up this video, Hulk versus Doomsday. It's getting pretty intense. I think he might actually win right here. This could be it. Unless the Hulk just gets so angry, but I don't know.
This might be it. There's a lot of video left.
There is, but a lot of that could be... it's over.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yep. Doomsday absolutely annihilated the Hulk.
Well, you got to remember, Doomsday is pretty much this kind of... He's almost like a Saiyan-like creature. Every time you hurt him, he comes back stronger.
Yeah, that's like the whole point of his character, too.
Yeah, because he was like a genetically created creature that got killed, I think, 1,000,000 times until he was finally strong enough to, kill Superman.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was the very first DC villain to kill Superman, if you want to say really killed. But I mean,
he just punched him a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, no, there aren't too many other villains who can say that they've done something like that. It's still a shame that I still don't think he's been done, fully like justice in the movies.
In certain
Especially
ways,
now that he's already been like there and defeated. Like if they really wanted to utilize Doomsday correctly, they should have like revolved the whole movie around him.
Yeah, and like built him up.
Oh, yeah, like maybe you see his whole backstory about him being like the ultimate being who is being created, build that up over a period of time, show him come to Earth, take out a couple of heroes, have his big confrontation with Superman. It would have been great. And looking at this image right here, like, what a missed opportunity never getting to see like Hugh Jackman throw down with the Hulk.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that would have been so awesome.
It would have been good. But I thought the Hulk kind of could heal fast, too.
I think he does have some regenerative capabilities. Like, I know, and a lot of things can't hurt him that much. Like, obviously, he gets shot multiple times and doesn't get penetrated by the bullets. But, I mean, you can clearly see, Wolverine is using his adamantium claws to, like, cut into his body and everything.
And that works, yeah. Well, adamantium cuts into everything, though. That's not really fair.
Yeah. But yeah, even there, he got stuck with some fucking like tranquilizers.
Yeah, well, that's the number one way to beat him is trank him.
But I mean, he's not going to be able to stop Doomsday from constantly like stabbing him with spikes and stuff, and like he did in this battle where he just completely annihilated him. Just damn, I really did underestimate Doomsday in this battle.
That's right. Doomsday
I
is
want to see Doomsday versus Zamasu.
Oh my gosh!
How freaking crazy would that be?
No,
I honestly think
Zamasu would wipe the floor with him.
I don't know, man.
He's too powerful.
Dude, I think Superman could go toe-to-toe even right now with the Dragon Ball characters.
Well, that's
as
a whole
powerful
other...
as they are.
That's a stupid debate because you never solve that one, you know?
Yeah. But, I mean, the fact that Doomsday can, like, go on par with him, like, I just think that would be an epic battle, especially now that Zamasu is going through that transformation where he's got, like, a big beefy arm and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And they both have regenerative capabilities. I just think that would be a really epic fight.
It would be pretty cool. Oh, Hulk getting his head ripped off.
Hell, I would have liked to see Doomsday versus Majin Buu.
That would have been cool.
Or Doomsday. I'm trying to figure out which form of Buu would be best. Maybe Kid Buu. I mean, obviously he's teeny and everything, but just... Oh, that would be insane. What's the next death battle?
Oh, you want to see the next one?
Yeah, I want to see. They only announced, I think, one person.
Whoops. I clicked the wrong thing.
Crap.
Oh, I just saw it.
What? Next time on death battle.
Never mind. Let's not look at it.
No, what are you doing? Oh my god, it's Zoro!
Zoro versus...
Holy shit, Zoro from One Piece. Who's he going to go up against? It has to be another swordsman of some kind. Holy shit, who could it be? Because they've already done, like, is it going to be someone samurai themed, or is it going to be someone who can use multiple swords?
Versus Guts. No, they already did Guts.
Yeah, they already did Guts. They already did Raiden. They've already done Deadpool. I'm just trying to think of other, like, sword characters that are kind of similar to Zoro in many senses. Because a lot of the times they kind of like to do East versus West. We just had 2 American comic book characters.
What?
Oh, that was the last one. That was Amy Rose versus Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim. It was okay. Amy Rose fucking destroyed her.
Of course she did.
But, I mean, she's a fucking Sonic character. She's
Did
super
that one?
fast.
Who won that one?
I did not watch Ken versus Terry, but I'm going to go ahead and just say Ken wins.
I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
We're totally spoiling some death battles for you guys. But this is still a really fun series. They've managed to...
this is a Sprite one. I love when they go back and they animate the sprites.
I do prefer the Sprite episodes.
I mean, their 3D has gotten way better. Just look at the first, like, Goku versus Superman, and then the second one.
The Raiden episode.
Oh,
that was crazy.
Oh, yeah. Very well done.
The Deadpool episode was pretty good, but I do know what you mean. There's something just really enduring about these. And it works, too, because Terry is from King of Fighters, and it's very similar to, like, Street Fighter style.
If some way it was a competitor, you know?
Yeah, it's like when we used to watch that old show. I think it was Mario Brothers Z.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those are crazy. Like
Mario Brothers Z. I totally forgot about those.
Yeah, I don't know if they're continuing them anymore. I haven't checked them out in a couple of years. But, I mean, like, these look great for being 2D. Like,
hit him in the balls.
Just hit him right in the balls. Freaking Johnny Cage shit right there. I'm just trying to think who's going to be going up against Zoro, though. Like, that's going to be a crazy battle, because it's going to have to be someone who's really super destructive and powerful, because despite the fact Zoro's a swordsman, like, look at what he did to Pika. He basically cut a mountain in half. So, damn, that's going to be nuts, man.
I mean, Zoro is maybe even still the strongest member of the crew, raw strength-wise.
Oh, I still say if both him and Luffy fought 100%, didn't bring emotion into the battle, and it was purely just this, like a death battle, I think Zoro would fucking destroy him.
Yeah.
But it's only just because, Luffy does have his devil fruit powers, but I mean, Zoro, he can still get cut. And Zoro, like, all he does is cut shit.
Yeah.
And it just, like I said, he's cut mountains in half. We haven't seen Luffy do anything like that. But yeah, that would be an interesting battle. But yeah, he's definitely up there. Him, Sanji, and Luffy are definitely the big 3.
Oh yeah. Let's see. They
utilizing some of the anime
yeah.
into the actual battle. Oh man, I mean, Ken has to win. It's fucking Ken Masters.
We'll see.
Oh shit!
He got shot by the under the ground technique thing.
Who will it be? Oh, they're still going. Oh, Ken is still standing. Terry. Oh my god, is Terry gonna win? Holy shit!
Terry won.
Terry just beat Ken Masters.
Not the master of losing.
Oh my god. All right, this is... I don't know. I don't play King of Fighters that much, so maybe there's more to Terry than I actually don't know. I mean, but
look at him beat the shit out of that guy. Death battles are fun.
They are. I mean, they take concepts that would never happen and manage to somehow make them work. My favorite thing about them is they actually do research. Usually at the end of the battle, you're always a little disappointed if your guy wins, but then when they actually like show you it and you see like the stats, you're like, okay, that's when I started to realize, yeah, I want Goku to beat Superman, but you can't argue with the facts.
You can't.
I mean, look at what Superman has done.
He literally is one of the strongest characters forever. And, in the future, he becomes like a god or something. It's kind of unfair. Again, it doesn't make sense.
No.
It's too unfair. So what else? We were going to talk about the X-Men movies failing.
Yes.
Or getting a reboot.
Maybe. Hopefully sooner than later. We'll have to wait and see. One of the big things about the X-Men franchise is just because the last couple of movies, in some ways, have been kind of a disappointment. I mean, Deadpool, I think, stands on its own.
Deadpool is not an X-Men movie to me.
I mean, I do consider it a part of the X-Men franchise just because he is an X-Men character and you got Colossus and all the other characters.
It's not an X-Men movie.
But you're right. It is a Deadpool movie. But, I mean, X-Men Apocalypse was kind of disappointing. The one before it, I guess, Days of Future Past, I honestly thought was pretty good. That's the thing, like, with the X-Men movies, it's like, here's a good one, here's a bad one, here's a good one, here's a bad one. It's always been like that the entire time. It's just been a roller coaster of emotions.
I didn't even see Apocalypse because I knew it was't going to be good.
Don't even waste your time, dude.
Not
It's
gonna.
so forgettable.
Not gonna.
God, it's just not good at all, and such a waste of some pretty damn good talent. And it's just, like I said, I don't remember anything special about that movie. Poor Oscar Isaac. They did not utilize him enough.
He's been awesome in everything he's ever been in, and then they made that.
I know, and that was one of like the one things I was keeping. I'm like, all right, Oscar Isaac is playing arguably the most iconic X-Men villain. Let's see if he can do it, and it was just okay. But I do honestly think now is the time to reboot the series, especially once they finish the Logan movie. Let that be like the last moment for Wolverine, and then we can finally move forward. The biggest task, though, is going to be coming up with like who's going to be playing the new characters, and will this new X-Men franchise tie into the MCU, and if they're smart, it will. So, who's going to play Wolverine in your eyes? Who do you want to see playing this character?
The new Wolverine?
Yeah, like if you could choose any actor to play Wolverine, who would it be?
Jack Black. He has the physical, he has the physical mentality for it. He's a good.
I can't argue with that.
Or Will Ferrell. They could both pull it off.
Or Will Ferrell. Jesus Christ. As long as Will Ferrell wears the freaking spandex in the suit, I'm okay with it.
That's cool with me.
I'm fine with it. Let it happen. Honestly, no. It might be a little too hard and a little too premature to start thinking about the actors who could play these characters. But they do need to be implemented into the MCU. I mean, that's really the way for success now. Especially because they finally got Spider-Man, so now is the time to make that a thing. It is going to be interesting if they do incorporate them into the MCU, like how they're going to make that happen, because typically in the Marvel Universe, in the comics, like these characters have already existed together for a long period of time, so they're going to have to like be like, oh yeah, all of a sudden there are mutants in the world now. Just saying. They could say, oh no, they've been here the entire time and they've just been in shadow, or, they could be like, oh, they're just finally starting to emerge after all of this crazy shit that's been going on. I've always had sort of in the back of my mind, if they incorporated the X-Men into the MCU, that the X-Men have always been around, but they're so secretive that no one's actually ever known about them. And there's going to be something that's going to thrust them forward into the limelight, or something that's going to like reveal them to the world, and that's going to cause a lot of contention. Which has always been one of the most interesting things about the X-Men series in general. I mean, obviously it's always been sort of like an allegory for racism and sexism and all that stuff, all the stuff that Trump is all about. And I'm interested to see like how they're going to make that work. And it's also going to be a really tough act to follow. I don't think all the choices for the X-Men were great, but I mean, like, Patrick Stewart was just the Professor X.
I thought it was a perfect cast. Yeah, it was perfect.
They're going to, and that's not to say that McAvoy's bad either. McAvoy does a pretty good job. But I mean, we're going to need to find someone else who can like, fill those chairs. Someone. I don't know who it's going to be. They need to be freaking bald. I think McAvoy should have been bald from the beginning, but that's just me. Especially when he just sort of randomly appeared that way at the end of X-Men Apocalypse, which is just strange. It felt a little forced. It's like, okay, fine, he's Professor X. You happy now?
We got it.
It's kind of what it felt like. And even at the end of X-Men Apocalypse, they showed a lot of the X-Men like in their costumes, like legitimate, like non-black leather S&M costumes. Like, a lot of them looked like legit. Like,
Ooh, black
Nightcrawler
leather.
even had, like, his old costume and everything. It was pretty slick.
Well, it's good that they're respecting that about the characters, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of over X-Men. They've always been like the third place superheroes for me. There's always going to be Marvel, then DC, and then X-Men. There's just certain X-Men
is
movies.
Marvel, though.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But I'm saying, like, if you had to lump the groups together,
Yeah.
it's always, the Iron Man, Thor.
Maybe that's a
War
testament to
Machine.
the X-Men, though. Like, they're so popular, they're almost like their own thing.
Yeah, they are their own thing in my mind.
Yeah.
Maybe their owners are all the same thing, but yeah.
Especially because there's so many characters that they can utilize. And, I mean, even if they do make a new movie, let's face it, they're going to use all the ones that we're used to. I mean, we're going to see Wolverine and Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, maybe Angel, maybe Jubilee for freaking once. Jubilee was in X-Men Apocalypse. No one ever said her name once, and she never showed her powers. They just refused to acknowledge the existence of that character.
What's Jubilee do?
She creates, like, fireworks.
Okay.
She's like she can like shoot fireworks from her hands and shit. Not the most impressive thing in the world. Oh God, what is this?
Let's see.
Where has my country gone? Where has my country gone?
That's the president.
That's the president.
It was a land of opportunity that we held dear, but now all these other assholes are coming here. And where's my country gone? It was just here like 2 seconds ago. 'Cause when they said that this was the land of the free, I'm pretty sure that they were referring to me. And my country gone.
I think this is from the last season,
Yeah.
right before he started running for president.
And just one black guy to
Unravel.
it all. Country gone.
Okay, we get the idea.
Okay. Oh my God.
Excellent, Corey. Let's stay on point. My bad.
Anywho, excellent. It is really hard to follow, Mr.
Dude, you
freaking
guys have
Garrison.
got to understand, we ourselves are scatterbrained from this election thing.
Yeah, it really has sort of like messed with my entire mindset for the day. I mean, I woke up and I heard about the information and I was just like, God, there's just this like cloud over me and I can't get it to go away. It's just permeating every part of my life today. Not to mention, just everybody's talking about it. It's everywhere in the media. You go to Facebook, everybody's talking about one fucking thing.
The new Dragon Ball Z episode?
The new Dragon Ball Z episode! Vegito!
Vegito.
It sucks. Everybody was so hyped for it, and now this is all anybody's ever talking about. Speaking of Garrison, though, I am really excited to see tonight's episode of South Park, to see what they're actually going to do with it. If they actually created 2 separate episodes, because they've done that before with previous ones. The first time Obama got elected, they had 2 episodes ready. And that was just the day after as well, so they're sort of like continuing that tradition with this one right here. And maybe they'll even have a preview out for it soon. I'm really interested. But yeah, just...
Dude, I'm excited to see where the future takes us. What was the other thing we were going to talk about?
Your mom.
Deadpool.
All right, going back to the Marvel movies for a second. Deadpool 2. It's going to happen. There's no way that it's not going to happen. The first movie was so popular. But a lot of people are leaving the production of the second Deadpool movie. The director, the guy who does the music. And all of it apparently has to do with some contention they have with Ryan Reynolds himself. A little bit of creative differences. With, basically, I believe Ryan Reynolds wants to sort of like keep the second movie kind of in the same vein as the first. Like, slightly grounded, but not too insane. Like, I'm pretty sure that the director of the first movie, like, wanted to take it in a more grandiose direction. Kind of like, well, we're going to put Deadpool, like, in a situation like in Guardians of the Galaxy and just go freaking nuts with it. And Ryan Reynolds like, no, we don't need to do that to the character. We need to take what we established in the first and build upon it a little bit more. We can still do some wacky shit, but don't take it too much out of the realm of, like...
Damn it, Deadpool
realistic.
could go to space and then come back to Earth for just, like, 20 minutes of the movie. You can have fun with him,
Yeah.
but don't do the whole movie like that, you know? Like, it should still be him running around New York or whatever city he's from, you know?
And, I mean, they want to include a lot of classic characters that he's been associated with, like the character of Cable. They want to put him into the movie, but, I mean, he's a freaking time-traveling character, so that's already pretty weird to begin with. But it is weird, you know, a lot of these guys are not agreeing with, like, what Ryan wants to do with it, but this is one of those situations where it's like, I don't know, I kind of trust the actor on this one, because without Ryan Reynolds, this movie would not have happened.
I think they ought to like practically sign the rights over to him, and be like, look, you just do what you need to do with this, Maybe they're not going to really give him the rights, but what they could do is easily say, you're still the creative director on this, so.
Like, he needs to have some form of creative control aside from just acting as the actual character.
Yeah.
I mean, he can make it happen.
Look at that cool ass advertisement.
Oh, yeah.
Selling ass.
Oh, I see that one like almost every other day now. At first it tricks you because it just looks like a normal car commercial, and it just morphs into this Rogue One commercial, which, that movie's only a month away.
Rogue One.
I'm still waiting for the ticket sales to be announced. I thought they were going to happen months ago, but apparently they didn't. We're still waiting. But, I mean, it's about a good month and a half until that movie drops. And it couldn't come sooner because I'm ready to focus more on Star Wars and Pokemon Sun and Moon and less on this political stuff. Just getting my mind off of it, I think, will be a really good thing because we've been drowning in it for months now, and even though it's come to a conclusion and we know like the final results, we're still going to hear about this all week, all month. It's going to be the talk of every Thanksgiving table. It's going to be insane. It's so distracting that I keep forgetting Pokemon Sun and Moon is actually coming out next week, which I'm so freaking excited for. That game's basically all been leaked too. Like, there are just leaks everywhere right now.
Who cares about Pokemon?
Oh, fuck you. I care about
Who
Pokemon.
cares about Pokemon?
I love the Pokemans.
You and your little pocket monsters.
That's what they are.
That's true.
Not to be confused with Monster in My Pocket. I could have worded that so much better.
Yeah, you could have.
The monster in my front pocket.
Talking about your dangalang?
Talking about my dangling. You know what, guys? I think we're just going to wrap it up there.
I'm sorry, guys. This one was a little all over the place.
It was. But like I said, this whole election has just sort of like thrown us into a state of disarray. But we had to address it. We had to talk about that. And we had to get hyped up a little bit more for this Vegito episode.
Dangalang.
Depending on what happens in the coming episode, we may even have to talk about it a little bit more. There could be a twist or a turn that we don't see coming, despite the fact that the preview of the episode kind of gives away what's going to happen. There could be something even crazier going on right after it. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But in any case, thank you guys for sticking around with us. I just want to take a moment and thank our network. That's Rogue Intel. Rogue Intel is awesome. They allow us to put this show together for you guys. And they allow us, most importantly, to be ourselves, which is why we can do this. So make sure to check out the other shows at rogueintel.com. And if you want to help keep the network going, please head over to rogueintel.com/Amazon for all of your shopping needs. It's not going to cost you any extra, and a portion of your total will go towards the Rogue Intel network. And I highly recommend checking out their website because there are a lot of other great shows just like ours. And remember, you can also download our show for free. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, check out the links in the description box. You'll be able to check all those out. You can find us on iTunes, all over the place. Good time to be a nerdy fan.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, the Powerful Nerdcast is out.
We're out. We're out of here. We're out. We're out. You losers.
We're the
out.
best. We're the best podcast ever. It's amazing. It's amazing. The best.